All
Do
right.
we have anybody else we're waiting for?
Yeah, we're waiting for Kim, RideVictoria, and Ryan, Mr. NessedUpProductions.
He probably won't be able to make it tonight. He's out. He's out tonight with his family.
Oh, Kim is?
Yeah. No. Other Ryan.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Well, hold on. Here we go.
I see a live button.
Yeah, something's happening on this YouTube page.
Whoa, yeah, here we go.
Looks like it's working to me.
That's really weird. Okay, so I guess we're live. Are we live? Somebody post some noodle eating pictures.
I'm hungry.
We're definitely live because I hear all of our conversation and I hear YouTube playing a little bit behind us. So it's working.
I had to pause YouTube to make sure I don't get the double sound. Oh, okay, so here we go. We got Royce just said it's on.
I closed that window.
Oh yeah, okay. Beast says we're live. No picking your nose. Groovy. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. I like this. Awesome. So we can see. Yeah. So we could just like chat and type and stuff. Hey guys. Oh, what the? Oh jeez. There we go.
So how do you see all the chat and still? I guess you just make your windows smaller, huh?
Well, yeah. Well, I went to the YouTube page and then clicked pause so I don't get the double feedback stuff going on. And then, yeah, and then you just scroll down a little bit and you can see everybody.
Okay, I'm good now.
There we go. Silex says, enjoy your meal. I'm assuming that's to Ryan, unless he saw me picking my nose and eating it. Sweet.
Dude, link me to that YouTube page again. I'm dumb and I can't find it.
All right, hold on. I'm just going to, like, tag you. These comments are awesome.
We could just sit here and read comments all night.
Yeah.
Forget talking about anything productive.
Right. Well, I'll just kind of relay the comments to you guys. I'll keep you posted on what people comment, but that means I can't look at your sexy faces.
I can see. I've got the comments off on one side, and I've got your sexy face in the middle. We're good.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, Damon, you're the man of the hour, man. You're the guy that's telling us all the good stuff. So
should we just jump into it?
Let's jump into it. Are you going to take us out in your garage? You know what I want to see, man.
Are you in the bathroom right now, dude? Is that a shower curtain behind you?
I'm sitting in the tub.
You could have waited to go on air until you finished dropping that deuce.
Well, you know, the way we do it over here, we don't afford toilet paper anymore, so you just jump in the tub and turn it on, and away you go.
Yeah, I've had to do that before.
So, okay, so if we're going to just jump right into it, what I wanted to do is there's oftentimes so many things we want to talk about, but it's really hard to put it up in a video. So I kind of wanted to go over. I've had a lot of people comment and send me messages on, well, what did you find out with the bike? You're talking about this list, and you're talking about prioritizing the list and everything, but what did you find that was wrong with the bike? So I thought what we would do is, first of all, I've read comments all over about things like, you know, why don't you do this to your bike? Why don't you do that? You know, why don't you build this into the ultimate machine or whatever? And so what I want to kind of preface this is just say that this particular bike build is more about reliability and being able to actually create and build a bike that's going to last without breaking a budget. So if we choose not to do your idea or whatever, it's not because it's not a great idea, but it's because we're trying to figure out how to do this on a serious budget. So for all you guys, that's kind of the idea behind this. About the shower curtains, but I couldn't spell curtains. Okay. Well, first of all, before I go through this, I want to know, Tyler, Ryan, do you guys have any questions that are kind of burning in your minds first before we kind of dig into this?
I just want to see the bike.
You want to see the bike?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if I can haul the laptop out there and give you a little look. But I don't know, because then everybody else gets to see what's done with it so far.
Oh, and we don't want to reveal that yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I found some really interesting things with it that are pretty crazy. But we'll talk about that later.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So let's just blow through this list real quick. I'm wondering, do you think this thing will let me post a really quick list in the chat section if I copy and paste here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I'm going to try that. I'm going to put this here for you guys to see. This is basically a brief list. Oops, your comment is too long. It won't let me do it. Okay. So let's just go over it.
List then.
You know what I'm going to do? Yeah, okay. So if we're working from the front to the back, here's the stuff that I found wrong, or things that concern me. First of all, the tires were really dry rotted. Can you turn that down, please? The tires were really like dry rotted. The spokes were all tight. The rotors were good. The front brakes were totally oil soaked. Let's see. Hang on, I got
Dude, hold on just a second. I'm sorry.
Oh, who we got? Do we have Ryan?
Ness just showed up. How's
hey,
it going,
man.
Ryan? Yeah.
Good. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, dude. Are you like up on a mountain?
No, I'm actually out on the coast. I'll see if I can get the ocean in view here. You guys see that?
Sweet.
That's awesome.
So yeah, just out at my friend's beach place out on the deck. So sorry it took me a minute to get on here. I was having trouble finding the link on my computer. It like came up on my phone just fine. I had to like search around and stuff.
Yeah, they're kind of squampus.
Oh, that's cool. Nice to see you, Ness, buddy.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about some of the things we found wrong with the bike, and then we're going to go into a little bit about why we chose to repair the things that we chose, and then we've got some people on here chatting who we want to kind of get their thoughts and ideas and any other questions they might have. So we talked about the tires, the rotors, the spokes, the brake pads were soaked with fork oil. Both fork seals were blown. The front tire, when lifting it off the ground and kind of spinning it, had some notchiness in there. So I'm kind of thinking the front bearings were probably on their way out. Of course, battery was gone. The chain was like rusted and pretty much there was a lot of rust on it. Then let's see, what else did we have? We had so it wasn't running. I took the fuel cap off and the fuel smelled. There was fuel in the tank actually still, and then I realized why. And we'll talk about that later. But it smelled like it'd been sitting there for like 2 years. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Clutch. The clutch cable, I'm assuming it's the clutch cable. I haven't gotten to that yet. It was really super stiff. And we couldn't really check electrical. The oil looking through the sight glasses looked pretty dirty, as we'd expect. The sprockets were half decent, but it had a 14-tooth front sprocket, which wasn't really great for for long-term riding. Let's see, what else, Tyler? Do you remember what else we had on there? We had possibly the rear shock might be leaking. It looks like it. Oh, the seal around the countershaft sprocket was leaking.
Mm-hmm.
And we had no skid plate. And let's see, let me go through my list. Air filter was dried and cracked. When I took that thing out, it was all dried up, and there was also like that St. George dust inside that little plastic, you know, the cage that holds the filter.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's sucked that stuff right in through there. So those were the major things wrong with the bike. So I'd like to just pose the question to Tyler, Ness, and HalfThrottle over there, what you think are ones that are dangerous, why you'd think they'd be dangerous of those things. Why would they be up on the priority list, or what would you think would be up on the priority list?
Everything, man. It's all dangerous, because if I'm out there and something gets screwed up, I think everybody knows I ain't fixing crap.
Well, Ryan, a fellow KTM owner here, what have been some of the things that have kind of held up your, because you did that awesome series on the Oregon BDR and had a little trouble. What were some of the things that you found to kind of stop your ride?
Well, the issues with my bike aren't going to be the same as with the KLR, because I had problems with my clutch, and it was a hydraulic clutch, and so it was I used the wrong clutch fluid, and because I had an older KTM and it was a Magura clutch, and this one was a Brembro. So, but besides that, I mean, I guess the things that held us up were just flats that just took up time. You know, the first flat we did was we tried patching it, and the patch didn't hold up on the highway miles. So the next time around, we went ahead and changed the tube. We did learn a cool little trick, though, to grab a tube that will fit your front, and then so you can use it for both your front and your rear to save weight. And then also, Ben and I actually pre-slimed, used some preventative slime in our tires, and we didn't have any problems.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, out of those things that you mentioned, I'd say, I mean, the biggest thing to me that's scary is the countershaft leaking, and that's probably, I mean, that's a big one. And brakes are big, obviously, because I noticed I think you mentioned something about, and then obviously, I'd say drive and brakes. I mean, those are, I mean, and clutch, drive, brakes, and clutch. Out of everything you mentioned, I mean, everything else is kind of just cleaning stuff up. Suspension would be, you know, would be nice, but you know, I've known guys that ride on blown out fork seals for a while.
Yeah.
Damon, something that I'm curious about is the clutch lever. I mean, that's like a 50-pound pull. What can we do about that? Because that's something that, especially when I get off road, it's, you know.
Is there a pink one, Damon? Can you install a pink one for him?
Preferably with some fur on it, furry pink. That's what I'm looking for.
It has like flowers and.
You know what? I'm laughing right now because I actually have a pink leverage lever for the YZ490. It's the closest thing to red I could get.
You know, you could just take a pipe, some metal pipe, maybe 1 inch, maybe ½ inch, just paint it pink, and you could just use it like a breaker bar.
So
Hey,
Tyler,
real quick, check out Super Killer R4's comment. That's super smart. Things I learned about taking KLR somewhere remote. Spare clutch cable ran next to the existing one. So easy swap when it broke. That's genius. Thank you.
Yes,
Really.
that's a great idea. The other thing is talking about the perch, the perch and the actual brake lever itself. They do make leverage ones for older bikes that has 3 different positions that you can mount the clutch cable in, and it will reduce the leverage required to pull the clutch. So that's certainly something that we could do. I'm going to put that down on the list.
Do they make the adjustable ASV levers for the KLR?
I think you can get them because it's a typical bar size. You know, it's not a fatty or something. So,
Are those super expensive?
They're not bad. I think you can pick them up for. I mean, they're expensive for a clutch lever, considering you can get a clutch lever for $15. I mean, it might be like $60, but they're unbreakable because they actually articulate both ways, and they're also adjustable.
Oh, that's cool. That might be worth looking into.
So, yeah, I think the ones I have are less expensive models. They just have 3 different positions you can choose, and they're, I think, about 35 or something like that. I've got 2 of them, one for the YZ and one for Katsumi that I haven't installed yet. But so that's certainly something that we can look at. Kind of my thinking, going back over those items we talked about, is definitely got to have
just a second. We got sound coming through of the delayed video. Whose is that? Is that mine? That'd be embarrassing. Whoever's it is, I think has to take off their shirt. All right.
Mine's on pause.
We say that whoever's it is has to take off their shirt. Make things interesting.
Come on, Ryan.
Oh, it's mine. How did that? Okay. It came on pause.
Who was it?
It was me. I don't know why that came on pause.
Whip it off.
You really? Somebody just asked if I worked out, and I don't work out. Well, here it goes. I can't do that. Okay, go ahead, Damon. My word's my word. Just keep going with the show. Here it goes, Lit. Oh, jeez.
Super Killa VR4 said they have ASD knockoffs for pretty cheap, so that's something that we could look at. ASD knockoffs. Oh man. Oh, man.
Why did I make that wager? That was a terrible wager to make before making sure it wasn't me.
That's what we call instant karma.
All right.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Real quick, how do I enable the comments?
It's
what the
Here
comments? I've just got it. I've got the YouTube link open on the side, and then I just.
Oh, I get you. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but pause it so you don't have to take off your shirt. All right. Because that's embarrassing. I mean, embarrassing.
Okay. The other thing here is MM95 said that they don't make the Sunline version 1 MDX levers. We'd have to get KX or KLX purchased to use those, but that's an option. Let's see. So we'll keep all that in mind. Either way, we definitely need good clutch cable. The other thing is we've got to have a super good battery, and we haven't checked that out, all the electrical stuff yet. But
oh yeah, that's another thing that's always held me up.
Okay, tell us more.
Well, when I went up to ride with Kim, I had that 450 SX, so I mean it really wasn't the right bike. So yeah, up there I ended up luckily I brought a charging pack with me, but when I installed that Tusk lighting system, I must have shorted something out because I had just like 0 battery life. Even after I put a Shirai in there, I managed to drain the Shirai battery that I put in there the very same day. And every time I would kill that bike, I'd have to pull the seat off, jump it, put the seat back on, and go again. I did that like 20 times. It was embarrassing and frustrating. So yeah, killer battery is definitely important. And no shorts.
No shorts. I was like, pants. Never mind. I'm so stupid. Okay.
Okay. Awkward moment there. And now it's weird, Frag says.
It's getting weird.
Okay. So we've definitely got the battery to get, and one of the things to kind of throw out here is what type of battery. You can get the cheap sort of venting type batteries that if you're on a really serious budget that you can use, but the problem with those, if you tip the bike over a lot, they'll tend to leak out their electrolyte, and so I'm thinking we need to go with a absorbed glass mat battery or an AGM battery. So that's something that I think is kind of a critical deal. Let's see. So if we kind of prioritized out sort of the things that we wanted that we thought were on the must list, we have to do list. I want to get everybody's thoughts on this. Okay, front and rear wheel bearings, seals, clutch cable. Okay, here's a question. Heavy duty tubes.
Dude, all right. So, having had a flat on the BDR, which was the worst thing ever because we ran out of water. That was the worst thing. That's the worst. That's like that's worse than death. So, we're going to do everything that we can for flat reduction prevention, which means ride-on, which means ultra heavy-duty tubes, which means Rojo grease, whatever it's.
He's got a full tub of that stuff, just hanging around. Okay,
so yeah, flat prevention's big for me because I hate flats.
Flats are bad.
Yeah, they just suck the energy out of you.
So here's the other thing that I saw a lot of comments on, and that was whether to use a single or or dual rim locks. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, seems like a single rim lock is going to handle anything that I can throw at that KLR. Especially with the tires, because they're going to be mainly street tires, so I don't think they'll be really gripping anything to have merit dual rim locks, right?
Yeah, I mean, usually the big thing is just the weight of the bike, and if you're pushing it really, really hard, that's the only time you'd ever really need dual rim locks, and you're going to be heavy, but if you do get a flat, dealing with two rim locks on the same rim is a nightmare. One of them is hard enough just to deal with one rim lock. So my suggestion is just to do a single rim lock on each wheel, just for that reason of having to change the tires, out on a trail somewhere. So, okay. Any more thoughts on that? Has anybody posted anything about it? Okay, we got powder in his tubes, preventing pinching and keeps them cooler at high speeds.
Gold Bond. I love me some Gold Bond.
That's good for multiple uses.
So, yeah, certainly helps in getting the tubes in and out of the tires, or when you're changing them. Certainly helps that. I'm not sure. He says it may keep them cooler. Wasn't aware of that, but does definitely help prevent pinching. So that's something to think about. Okay, anything more on tires? We talked about tires. Definitely getting heavy-duty tubes.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a brother from another mother.
Oh,
how's it going, Don G?
Yeah, Don G. How are you guys doing?
Oh, what's up, man?
Hey, man, I'm excited to see you.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be awesome.
That's awesome. I'm really excited. It's gonna be cool, and loving the how-tos.
Oh yeah.
And it's inspiring, man.
Yeah. Well, dude, when I get up there, you've got how do people say it? Sena? You've got a Sena, right?
I don't know.
Well, okay. I'm gonna be bringing a spare just in case I'm gonna be riding with all kinds of people. So I'll bring a spare, and I think you, me, and Ness are gonna go do some motocross.
Yeah.
You
gonna
guys
be
are gonna have
awesome.
to. You guys are gonna have to teach me.
Oh,
to not
dude, it's
die.
awesome. Think about like a perfectly groomed trail, but super wide.
That sounds good.
Yeah, and good seeing you, Damon.
Hey,
And yeah,
you too, buddy.
Ryan, I watch so many of your videos too, man. It's awesome seeing you guys and talking to you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It'll be better than live soon. It'll be like
Real.
live. Man hugs incoming.
Nice. Well,
Sweet,
well,
man.
super good talking to you guys. I'll put you
Hey,
back with Ness.
Cool.
Okay, you
Thanks.
too, buddy. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. See you guys.
See ya.
See ya.
Um, it's cool to see Don G. That was great. So what were we talking about?
I don't know. I started thinking about motocross. We're talking about tires.
Oh, people are asking which tires that we've selected. Do you remember which ones they were, Tyler? They were Shinkos.
Yeah, Shinko 705.
705s.
Yep.
And do you want to tell them why? Or do you want me to
Because
tell them why?
I actually already purchased those tires and sold them with the KLR when I sold them to my brother. So to go the cheapest route, we're putting on the tires that we already had.
Yeah. So plus they're going to be good for most of the riding that you're going to do. You know, if you have stretches of road or stretches of, you know, dirt, fire road, they're going to be fine for that.
Mm-hmm.
Plus they have a pretty good wearing. You know, they'll last for a while. So that's all good. So let's move on to a different system here. Let's talk about the fuel system. So definitely want to check all the hoses. We've checked all the hoses and everything, and it's been sitting for a long time. I want to ask people's opinion. I've done these mods, but on other KLRs, but I want to ask people's opinion on what they think about the raising the needle mod, the 22 cent needle mod. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that.
I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about those manly type things.
Okay, let's see. Silex is going to bed. Thanks for hanging out with us for a bit, dude. Okay. Well, basically, the 22 cent needle mod is where you just take a little 22 cent washer, small little thin washer, and you put it underneath the clip on the needle to raise it a little bit, and it kind of helps with that off-idle bog that sometimes they get. Tyler, I'm going to ask you, did you ever have any experience with it doing that?
No, I don't recall it ever having any. Actually, you know what? That KLR never had any problems ever, other than when I dropped it, and then it was just hard to start because the carburetor would have issues. But the only issue I ever had was the oil seal, and I know it's probably gone bad again because A, I repaired it, and B, I know my brother-in-law treated that KLR like a motocross bike. So he was telling me he went off. He'd get like 6 feet in the air, and he showed me the jump that he did it on, and then he did it for me, like showed me. And I was like, man, I don't think that bike's meant to do that. And I mean, like after that, the forks were like blasted fluid everywhere, and I think that did that oil seal in pretty easily with the pressure on the rear shock. So.
Okay, we did it on both Rojo's KLR and Craigo, the Dirty Italian's KLR. It did help those. Those are newer bikes. But a couple things. Let's see. Don't forget to drill the slide. Yes, Zeta Tango. That's right. When you do the 22 cent washer mod, you do have to drill the slide. And there's YouTube videos on out there to help you know how to do that. But it definitely helped both of those bikes. But here's a couple things interestingly about the KLR. So that the petcock. So you know when I was checking the bike, so I opened the lid on the tank, turned the petcock fuel to the on position, expecting fuel to drain out of the tank, checking the hoses and everything to make sure that fuel ran cleanly. But the KLR has a different kind of petcock. It's a vacuum-controlled diaphragm petcock. I'm not sure if you guys know that. But what that means is as soon as the motor shuts off and you have no vacuum anymore, a diaphragm closes and it shuts the fuel from running out of the tank. So if you see videos and stuff where people, they dump their KLR and they just leave it there, they just turn the key off and leave it there for a while until they get the energy to pick it up, that's totally fine to do, because no more fuel is coming from the tank into the carburetor. Whatever flooding you get is just the actual fuel that's in the bowl. So I had to, if you guys are man enough, you stick your mouth on the end of the hose of that thing and just suck real hard. It'll drain fuel out of it. That's how you check it.
That sounds good.
Sounds tasty.
And if you get, I've never had fuel in my mouth before with that, but it definitely leaves that taste in your mouth. So, but anyway, so if it runs through there, fine. Then the only other thing, yeah.
Oh, sorry. What do these mods do, if anything, to fuel mileage, fuel economy?
Okay, so from the factory, and the later models are even more so this way, they're set up super lean, mainly to pass emission standards. So what ends up happening is they lean them out to get better fuel mileage and better emissions. But when you're riding the bike, they'll bog or be off idle, sometimes really hard to start. When they're lean, they get really good gas mileage, but their performance is terrible. Plus, when they run lean, they run hot. So if you're in an area where you're not going very fast, it's hard to keep them cooled down. And long term, that can lead to other warping, cylinder head, stuff like that. But so that tank is so huge, and it gets such good gas mileage anyway, that most people will compromise and they'll raise the needle a little bit, which will richen it. And in that middle RPM where a lot of your cruise speed is, it'll actually richen it up a little bit. So you might lose a little bit of fuel mileage. I don't know how much it is, but it's not enough to really worry about. But it makes it easier to start. And if you're riding off-road or whatever, it's just a lot more comfortable and easy to ride.
Okay, cool.
So that's a compromise. I already know what your carburetor looks like. I'm not telling everybody else yet. I've already been through it. So, and there were some serious surprises in there too, which will come out. But anyway, so I think if it ran pretty good before and you didn't have much trouble, we'll probably just leave it stock. Yeah, Beast 12101 says use a vacuum pump, and that is true. If you have a vacuum pump or something you bleed brakes with, that works really good. I don't have one, so I do it the old school way. Oh yeah, Bright 3186, X3186 said it will run cooler if you richen it up, and that's true. It will run cooler. So anyway, so that's a few. Oh, the other part is the air filter and airbox mods. I'm not sure if people are aware of this, but your bike already has like drilled out holes in the top of the airbox.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that's just to let more air in. I'm not sure it does much if you don't have an exhaust that can flow equal to the intake, but it doesn't hurt to do it. So that's one of those things where, talking about the priority, is that something that you really want to do on the trail?
As for what?
The carburetor stuff.
Oh, no, I don't want to. No, I don't want to do anything on the trail. Nothing ever.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those things that cost $5, in carb cleaner, $5 or $10 in carb cleaner, and it has to be super clean. So definitely not worth doing that out on a trail somewhere where you're in the middle of dirt trying to figure out why your bike won't run.
Yeah, so it's best to clean it out, get it set so before the trip. And then once you get in a garage or something somewhere where you can do a service on it, if you're in the dirt, it's probably a good idea to clean it out as much as you can on a long trip, is my guess.
Yeah, I think Bright X3186 saw one of our other lists. Are you still using a DG exhaust? That's what we have on Peggy. And we kind of ended up thinking that that was probably an expense that we really didn't need to make right now. Yeah, they sound great. Yeah, they have a little more horsepower and torque out of them. But, man, do we really want to spend money on an exhaust, right now?
I have a really expensive exhaust on my motorcycle that I would love to trade for the money that I spent for it.
And
so
for the KLR, I'm thinking long trips on the road, and honestly, it sounds good, I think, when you're out on the trails or whatnot, but when you're on the road and you've got to have earplugs in anyway, I just leave it stock, man. I like it as quiet as can be on the road.
Yeah. So let's take a little break for a second here, and I want to ask HalfThrottle here, while you were out on your trips, what were some of the issues that you had that kind of put a bump in your road or made you a little nervous or concerned?
Most of the problems that I had with a KLR was when I rode with Mitch from Utah to Panama and back, and that thing broke down like every 3 days. Something different would happen to it. The clutch cable would snap, and here we're in El Salvador, and we've just snapped a clutch cable. So you can't just get one. We ended up going to a bicycle shop and getting some kind of cable there and making it work. The sprocket wore out, the chain wore out, and you can't get those parts. So if you're riding in the United States, then you're somewhat okay because you can get those things. But if you're in Mexico, then you're not going to be able to find, even if you find a Kawasaki dealership, they're not going to have the parts that you need, most likely. So it's different, I guess. The things that I would take are different depending on where you're riding. And if you're in the United States or Canada, then I don't think you need to carry many things with you. Maybe a clutch cable in case it breaks. But everything else should be somewhat okay.
Mm-hmm. So do you remember any of the other stuff that broke on the KLR besides the clutch cable that you would recommend taking a look at?
Mitch's exhaust fell off one day while we were riding down a road in Costa Rica.
That probably sounded awesome. Like,
he was behind me, so I didn't. All of a sudden, I was like, "Where is he?" And I turned around, and he's on the side of the road with his muffler in his hands.
Oh, but we'll make sure that's tightened down.
Our problem was we knew nothing about motorcycles. Neither one of us really had even been riding for very long. We just wanted to do it. And we were single and dumb and thought, let's just go for it. And so we left. His first motorcycle broke, and then we bought another one for him in Arizona, and then we did nothing to it. He bought it, and we drove it into Mexico. We didn't even... And one of the first things we did in Mexico was go to this beach town, and he just buried it in the sand. So the chain and sprocket were just covered with sand. Did we think about cleaning it? Nope. We just rode on through Mexico. So that thing just wore itself down, but we knew nothing about maintaining motorcycles. We had to learn it all on the road. We'd go and get in on AdventureRider.com and post a question, and somebody would give us advice, and we'd learn how to fix that thing as we went. Because even though we weren't mechanics in any way, we had to figure out how to become mechanics. And I did that in Panama a lot, too. I would try to pay someone to fix my bike, and they'd go, I don't know how to fix that bike. So I had to be a man and fix it myself, and I hated it.
I'm tripping out here, dude. It's like you've lost all your facial hair, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I think.
Well, I can tell you
it's
what
like
my
you
wife
moved it over.
and she loves it.
I was just saying you lost yours, and now Tyler's growing it on him.
Yeah.
Well, Okay, so that's good advice. You know, I think maybe we need to really think about you having, and I've read this before on other posts, having a second, clutch cable with you tied into the first one. I think that's a great idea.
Maybe also a second lever, something that could be a clutch or a brake lever if you fall down and break off your clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are only. I mean, I always pack a spare anyway, even on the DRZs of both, because they cost like $6,
Luke?
Yeah.
and they're totally worth having. It's an easy fix and it's a common problem because I fall a lot.
Sure.
No, you're about done with that.
Yeah, I think those days might be over actually. Let's
Yeah.
hope.
So here's another one that we had on the idea list. I don't even remember if we talked about it much, Tyler, but I'm seeing people chatting about it, and that's the drill through subframe mod, where there's two different kits. There's one kit that you actually where the subframe bolts up to the backbone of the frame. You can enlarge that and use a larger bolt, or you can use the drill through method, where have you seen where people have broken their frames on KLRs? It's actually a somewhat known problem. So they make this aftermarket kit where they drill through the frame and they use a single grade 8 or stronger bolt that goes through there and bolts it down. I'm seeing several comments on the chat of people asking about that. So that was actually something that I was planning on doing anyway. And while we're talking about why that happens, if you'll see, guys they will actually load their KLRs down like crazy, put tons and tons of weight on them. We actually took Rojo's KLR without it being filled up with him on the bike, without the boxes being full, and went out to the dump and had him drive onto that big weigh station. It was like 750 pounds with nothing in it. And the guys will put another 100 pounds or more of stuff on there, and the stock suspension is only designed to hold maybe 150 pounds. I mean, they've got really super soft springs, so I think they're bottomed out by the time they even start riding. So all that stress, when they hit a bump or a pothole or something, it just goes right through and breaks the frame. So
Yeah.
Anyway, that's something that I think we need to do.
Yeah, let's use some budget money to get that sorted out, because I don't think I'm going to be doing any like super hard riding on it. I think it's going to be mostly, trails that people want to show me. I'll get on some single track. I'll try some difficult stuff, but I'm not going to be raging over whoops or anything. At least I don't plan to. And even then, I hopefully will be able to take everything off the bike.
Yeah, get the weight off.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple of the things I saw posted on there. There are some questions about what kind of luggage you're going to use. I'm thinking we might talk about that on a future hangout. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about that way. But the other thing was heated grips. I think it was Dr. Dual Sport. Hey, there's Kim. How you doing, Kim?
Yay!
Good.
We got Kim.
So, I thought I read 8 o'clock Mountain Time. Did I not read that somewhere?
Yeah.
So isn't that like 9 o'clock my time?
That should be 7 o'clock your time.
Yeah. Yeah. Never mind. I'm carry on.
Dude, I don't do math either. People were asking. A lot of people were like, "So what time does that make it on like in New York?" And I'm like, Google it. I don't know.
Oh, bad. That's like 876, isn't it? 6 hours or 6 o'clock back there. Never mind.
It's 8:48 here, homie.
No, I meant the starting time in New York for 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sorry, I went out for a ride. I thought, I got plenty of time. I'm back 10 minutes, no problem. Look at my phone and, anyways, I'm just going to observe for a while now that I've interrupted you.
Oh, no, you're good. We've just been talking about all kinds of different things. We're actually kind of just jumping around here a little bit, and we're just starting the topic about heated grips. And there's actually from a what we would say a D-cam perspective, there's two different styles of heated grips, and maybe people in the chat can give us their thoughts on it. The one thought is they have the type that's about maybe $45 that has heated elements that goes underneath regular grips, and then it has a resistor with a switch that I think that's kind of like what you have on there right now, Tyler. But you have a switch that can go low to high. That's the cheapest option, and then the next option is about maybe $65, about $65 that actually has a potentiometer on there that's got a dial that you can change from low to high with, so it's not just a switch that's low and high, but actually has some gradation in between there.
So is that what's currently on Peggy right now on the Pegaso?
Mm-hmm.
I think that, and you said it was $60?
I think it's $60, $65 or something like that.
I think it's well worth it because the Tusk ones just didn't last very long, and whatever you have on Peggy seems robust. I like it.
She is robust.
She's very curvy and robust. She makes me. Never mind.
Well, well, what I've noticed when I got my 990, it came with the flip switch low and high, and when we went riding with Ryan, when we went out on the Pony Express Trail, and I rode your GS for a little bit.
Yeah, buddy.
I noticed that they were. I noticed that they were much warmer, and I had mine on high.
Dude, if I have my grips on high, and you don't have gloves on, you can't even keep your hands on them. They get so hot.
That's what I noticed, and so. What I'm thinking is, and the only thing I don't like about the other ones is that, like the ones that are on Peggy, is the grips are really hard. They're not a soft grip, and I like softer grips that are easier to hang on to. But if it came to cold temperatures, my 990, even on high, they're not even remotely warm enough. Like when I got on Ryan's GS and I'm riding along, I'm like, ooh, this is nice. You know, they were pretty warm.
I
Felt
love
good.
I just posted in the chat that like they're about comfort, but they're also about safety. Like if you lose your dexterity and you can't react quick enough to pull the brake because your fingers are too cold, then that becomes dangerous.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Well, maybe then, Tyler, what we'll do, I mentioned that other thing just so other people know, you know, if you want to save $20 for the other ones, I'm not sure it's really worth it because on the low setting, they have this huge, massive resistor, and it takes the same amount of power from your bike, but it just bleeds it off in this resistor for the low setting. And with mine on low, I could put my hands on there, and it doesn't even feel like it does anything. So I think it's a waste of time. I would say that you're better off just with the adjustable ones then. So, okay.
Yeah,
Do we have a link for those?
I think skimping on grip heaters, that's like Ryan said, it's a safety thing. So, honestly, I'd be comfortable putting a little extra from the budget into that. I mean, what do we have left in the budget? Just curious.
I think we have. So we started with 1,000. Is it okay if I give numbers?
Yeah. So just so everybody knows, I gave Damon kind of a retainer of $1,000, and then it ended up that instead of going toward Peggy, that actually went toward the KLR. So. So the budget was $1,000, and then I might be able to do a little bit more, but that was the budget. So what you're seeing is literally like a $500 KLR because it was really beat up, with 1,000 extra into it. So the whole project we're trying to keep under $1,500, which is insane.
Yeah. So right now we used $100 of that for the Black Widow for the water pump and gas, and then we used $500 for all the parts that we've already purchased for the KLR right now. So I think we're sitting at roughly, and I haven't gone through, I've got it all written down, but I think roughly we have around 400 left.
Oh,
350
sweet.
to 400 left.
Fantastic.
And that I haven't bought grip heaters yet, so that's going to take some from that. We haven't. So let's talk. While we're talking about that, let's talk about a couple other of these items that we've been thinking about, like engine guard or a bash plate. What are people's thoughts about that?
What do you guys think in the comments? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Somebody else was talking.
I was saying get 2 of them and stack them on top of each other for extra protection.
Now remember, it's not a. I just got that. I just remembered it's not a GS, Ryan. It's a KLR. So, you know, oh, that was low.
Well, now my feelings are hurt.
That was the saddest. That was a super sad day in my life to see your bike get hurt. Just so you know, we're connected like that, you know.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
Oh, that was a bummer.
I just posted a link in the chat there. I just bought the Flatland Racing plate for my bike, and it's pretty beefy, far beefier than what I had on there. And it also gives me some protection for my my water pump on the one side, and a little bit of protection for the clutch, or not the clutch, just the side of the engine on the left side. So it's quite beefy, and they did it's a sweet job on the welding. It's not a hack job. It fit in with not even an issue. Went right in. It's got a little ventilation for it, and the only thing I don't like about it, and I'm going to have to deal with it, and it has nothing to do with the actual plate, is that at certain RPM, the harmonics of the engine transfer through to the frame, and you get this sort of. I'm a noise guy when I ride. I always hear noises, and this thing puts off a little bit of vibration noise at about 5,000 RPM. When I took it out for my first ride, I thought I was destroying my engine. So I'm going to have to isolate it with rubber or something just to take a little bit of that vibration out. But it's an awesome plate.
Okay. I wrote that down. So we're definitely going to do that. Now there's some comments. I don't want them to get past us too far. Some comments about the electrical output of the first gen versus the second gen KLR, and they're talking about amps. And I think I've missed it. Kind of scrolled on through, but just wanted to bring up a couple things. I think that I thought I found somewhere that the first gen KLR puts out 210 watts of power, which is really plenty for just about anything on that bike. But they do make upgrade kits. Several make 280 watt stators, and then some I've seen 1 or 2 companies make 290 watt stators. I think Peggy comes from the factory with 280 watts, but the KLR, for what we need and the amount of electrical demand there is on that bike, 210 is plenty. So I don't really see a need, especially with modern technology going towards LEDs. I don't really see that there's a super big need to spend money on a stator, unless maybe I'm missing something. Am I missing something? No?
You're the oracle, man. I don't know.
Yeah, you're the one to ask.
I don't know. I just don't see any reason to worry about that. So a couple other things. So people have talked in here a little bit about suspension. I've been watching the chat. People as they've gone through and asked questions. when we were talking about the subframe bolt, people were saying, well, you know, do you want to use progressive springs, or do you want to get a heavier duty rear spring for the bike? And I'm not sure, you know, the general KLR community, there's so many things out there that's available. I'm wondering, did Mitch ever say anything about bottoming out, or did he care or even know? Ryan?
Oh,
Ryan?
I don't think he even knew.
Okay.
That bike was too tall for him, man. He fell down a lot.
How tall was he? I'm curious.
He's like, I don't know, 5'8", maybe, not. But you know, there were a couple times where, one time we were somewhere in Mexico and we came to this stoplight and there was this little girl in like a hatchback car, like the very back part of this hatchback car, and we were on big bikes, so we'd get waved at a lot. And she was doing this, she was pointing, and so I was like waving at her. I didn't know what she wanted. She shook her head and she was pointing, and finally I kind of looked behind me and there's Mitch on the ground. But he's trying to tell me that my friend was down. But he got it back up before the light went green. But he would just fall over at random times. You know, not off-road or anything. Just all of a sudden, thud.
Oh, that's funny.
Is Mitch like 5'0"? What's the deal?
I don't know. He's just a stocky guy, a little short, stocky guy.
Well, he's like my height, isn't he? I thought he was.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, hey, I saw a comment up here that I want to ask about LED lights, and then one more. I just want to point it out to you, Damon, so you can Google it or something. But twin headlight Ernie clutch arm mod. That should fix your problem with the clutch pull. If that helps, I am so down for it. Check it out. Zeta Tango's comment. Be sure to look at the twin headlight.
Doing some kind of clutch mod sounds way easier than doing like some push-ups. So you should probably go with that.
Dude, Ryan, you gotta pull the clutch on that thing. It's seriously like, that's one of the reasons why I call it the tractor, because it always had that crazy clutch pull. I mean, it's like hefty.
What was the link again?
He just said to Google it. Okay. Twin headlight Ernie clutch arm mod. I'll post it below in the comments there. How tall are you, eveRide? I'm 5'10".
Twin headlight Ernie clutch arm mod. I'll look that up. I'm not familiar with that. Okay. So back to springs. We got a can I say, Ryan, HalfThrottle?
Fine with me.
Okay. You know what? Do you guys have? I want to have you tell the story first.
Oh, jeez, I don't even know if I can remember the story. When I lived in Panama, I had a KLR 650, and I think they contacted me, and they just said, we want to send you some suspension. And I just had purchased a rear shock from them. It cost me $500, and then it cost me $200 to get it shipped to Panama, because it was like a hazardous. They said it was a hazardous thing to take on their airplane, and I'm like, really? Because airplanes have suspension too, the size of a Volkswagen, but my little motorcycle shock is dangerous to put on your airplane. So I turned down. They wanted to give me a new rear suspension thing, but like a nicer one, and I turned them down. And they sent me the fork springs to Panama, but like 2 months later, they hadn't arrived, and so I said they've probably been lost. And so they sent me another pair to Panama, which showed up. Or no, they both showed up in Panama. But then I was coming on a trip from Panama back to Utah, and they sent me another set to Utah. So that set has just kind of been hanging around Utah for several years now. And so I gave those to Tyler to put in his KLR. So you've been sponsored by progressive suspension.
So much thanks to you,
Thanks.
Ryan,
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
for providing those. And for those of you that aren't familiar with the difference, the stock springs on a KLR, they have spring rate measurements, and they're like 0.53 kilograms per millimeter of movement is the stock spring, and the progressive springs have an area that's tighter wound, and this will come out on the video, and then they have a coarser wound area, so the initial travel is pretty soft. It's like the same as a stock KLR suspension. It's like 0.53 kilogram millimeters of resistance, but then as you start to load it heavier, it actually gets stiffer, goes up to like 0.71 or something. So that should help a little bit with carrying of the load. But I think that as far as the rear suspension goes for right now, a spring is going to blow $80 to $100 of our budget, a rear spring. So what we think we may do is just really increase the preload on the spring. That'll help a little bit, and then who knows, maybe in the future there'll be something else we do with it, but that'll save us $100 out of our budget, which I think is a good thing.
I think if you just emailed Progressive Suspension, said this is who I am and this is my YouTube channel, I'm going on this big trip, that's how you get sponsorships. You have to ask for them. Nobody sits around at Progressive Suspension and just watches YouTube videos and hopes that they find somebody to give some stuff to. If you want to get sponsored, you have to contact them and you say, hi, my name's Tyler, and this is what I want, and this is why you should give it to me.
I could do that.
If you do that with enough companies, some of them will start to say yes.
Yeah, yeah. Kim knows about that. Ryan knows.
Tyler, I definitely. I don't have any sponsorships myself, but I have plenty of buddies that are sponsored, and they're not even pro riders, motocross riders. But it's all about just going out, and a lot of companies actually will have a form you can fill out on their website that says this is what I'm doing. Usually it's a race schedule, but you can even kind of just take that form and modify it. And I mean, the thing is you, Tyler, you have an audience. You have a huge reach, even compared to just a guy that's out on the motocross tracks, to get people's products known and out there. And if you're willing to throw their logo in there or work something out, I mean, I'd be hitting that up a bunch.
Right. So, yeah, I'm not going to reveal too much of kind of what's going on, because I've had to figure out how to fund the channel and support my family. So. Plans are in the making to hopefully snag some good sponsors, people who I'll go after, because mainly we're looking at people who have good products at still budget prices, because if I went out and got sponsored, this might be shooting myself in the foot eventually or something, but if I got sponsored by, like, I don't even know how to say the helmet name, but Arai. I don't know if I think they're probably great helmets, but I don't know if I would ever recommend them to somebody on a budget, just because other helmets are DOT approved, and helmets are meant to be safe, and they all have to have the safety stuff. But I'm sure Arais are really comfortable and light. But so I am looking for budget companies to talk to and stuff like that. So yeah, that's. Hopefully it works out, man.
It'll work out, dude. It'll work out. So, okay, I think we've kind of hit the major, obviously we talked chains, sprockets, brakes, bleeding brakes, changing oil, all the general maintenance stuff we're going to do anyway because they don't cost money. Let's move on to what we call the B list. The B list are the recommended list, but not the I've got to have done now list. What kind of items from the chat people and people in the hangout here think would be recommended items for a KLR? Not an absolute critical, but something that might be recommended?
A seat. A seat. As you know, if you followed my channel for a while, I had a surgery on my posterior in a very sensitive area. And seat is going to be probably... You guys need to see this? I already took off my shirt.
Just getting warmed up, homie.
Woo! No, seat is a big deal. Luckily, the folks at Seat Concepts have they sent me a seat, the KLR commuter seat.
Cool.
They caught wind of what's going on. The seat that I had on the KLR was just trashed, so they sent over a commuter seat, and I'm putting that on, and I'll do a review. I already, when I talked to him, I said I already have a Seat Concept seat on my DRZ, and it's awesome. So there you go, guys. I'll pitch that. I'll pitch a Seat Concept seat. They're nice and cheap, so that is a good one.
Everybody froze. Luke, are you online? Okay. Are you there? Okay. Everybody froze for a second.
Look at all these comments over here. Beast, Brightex, Evil Jim, all Seat Concepts. Seriously, Seat Concepts is awesome because you save money. Here's the pitch. Here you go, Seat Concepts, guys. If anybody's Seat Concepts out there watching this, here's the pitch for you, just to show you that it's worth sending me that seat. The Seat Concept seat, you save money because you use your old seat pan. That's where you save money. You use your seat pan, you use their foam, you put your own, or you put the leather that they send you over the seat pan, the vinyl, and then you staple it on. So there is a little bit of money to it, but honestly, for the price and for 20 minutes of your time to staple the seat on, I think it's an awesome value. I mean, I know that there are really good seats out there, but for the money, I've never seen anything higher recommended than a Seat Concept. So anyway, there's your pitch, Seat Concepts, and your review stuff will come soon too.
Awesome. Okay, I want to bring this up, Tyler. What are people's thoughts regarding a center stand?
What do you guys think about a center stand? Let's wait for some comments. I personally, whenever I follow Rohonek with a center stand, it seems like his is always like ka-tank, ka-tank, ka-tank. And I don't know. I mean, it'd sure come in handy for little fixes or changing tires, but I'm just hoping that doesn't really happen. I'm the type of guy, I'll just put the bike on its side and change the tire if I have to.
Yeah. So, have you guys seen that other little deal? It's just like a little bar with kind of this connector on each end that I think they used the kickstand. Wasn't Ryan, when we went out to the Pony Express Trail,
Chris went home and bought one of those, but I can't remember what they're called. Somebody's going to know. Trail Jack.
Trail Jack. David Nichols for the win, buddy. Thanks, man. That guy's always awesome.
Well, I'm wondering if that might be, does anybody know how much that thing costs? Because I'm just thinking, just from the standpoint of if you have a flat, you can turn the bike over on its side, and that's no problem. But I'm just wondering for everybody else that's watching this, if they know how much a Trail Jack costs, and just, it might be something they might want to get. No center stand, carry the auxiliary side stand from Evil Jim.
Eagle Mike Quick
That could be a Trail Jack or a Quip Jack or a length of 2x4 that you think will fit, that will keep the bike upright when you're working on it.
A stump. Ness was using stumps and rocks and stuff.
Yeah, they work well.
In Oregon. Yeah, I mean, you just put it on there.
If you're manly and you can just pick that sucker up and throw it on a rock, man, you're good.
Yeah, this wasn't the KLR I was throwing on rocks either.
So does anybody? I didn't see anybody post in there how much it cost. $29.95 from Zeta Tango, $30 from Beast 12101. So I don't know, something to kind of throw around. We can always keep that. That's why this is a kind of the recommended list. It's not something you got to do. Something that could be done. Of course, then you got to carry it.
I gotta say, I love everybody. These guys posting comments. You guys are so awesome. Do you know that? You guys are awesome. Because it's like, hey, how much is this? Boom, answers. Hey, what should we do with this? Boom, like answers. You guys are the best. That's why this is so cool.
This is really helpful. Quick Jack from Eagle Mike. It's $30. So, that for other people that are watching this that are working on their bike, Quick Jack sounds like it's a pretty reasonable option for people if they don't want to go with the center stand. Yeah, the center stand's nice. It's convenient. It's easy, but it does add weight, and not that it matters a great deal, and it also takes away some of your ground clearance, which is not super a lot anyway. But okay, so another one. Can we bring up? Well, does anybody have any other recommended items before I move on to another one that's on my list?
I got a quick recommended item.
Okay.
So just for the end of the thing, and I just throw out a teaser. We've got 50 people watching, which is awesome. We're super glad that people are coming to watch. But these 50 people deserve a quick preview of what you've done so far. Can we do that for them? Is that okay? Are you okay?
Is it for them or for you, homie?
Honestly, it's for me. No, but really, these guys, if anybody is watching this after this is done, and they hang out for so long, they should be able to see too. That's a good prize for people to come help out. That's cool.
I'm carrying my laptop out.
Oh, I didn't mean right now, man.
I'm doing it right now. Oh, you know what though? I've got. You know how this garage is. There's if you guys can see, I mean, there is nothing.
A lot of stuff in that garage.
There's a car and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bikes in here.
It's asses to elbows in there, man.
And if I fall down, start to cry, just call my mama. Oh, you know what? You can't really see too good. There's just no room. Okay, can you see?
You gotta hold it still.
Yeah, we get some blur going on.
Okay, so there's rear tire.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't talk or else it messes it up. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. I found. Hang on, it takes me a second to get.
I'm surprised you could stand up after sitting on the toilet for that long, dude. My legs usually fall asleep.
Dude, I was sitting in the tub, dude. I've got my shirt on, but I'm naked from the mid down. Okay, so we actually got a new rear sprocket and a gold 520 O-ring chain.
Oh, it's nice.
And the front sprocket's replaced. And we got a new AGM. Oh, sorry, you guys. I have no room to see what I'm doing. New AGM battery. Do you see the floor? Oh, hang on.
You're a rut row. It's bleeding.
Oh, no. Uh-oh.
That only happened after I started it up. So I haven't even looked at it yet, but I'll figure it out. Okay.
You think that's the? Do you think that's the? Well, no, that wouldn't be the sprocket, the oil seal, would it?
No, I've already replaced it.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's
Show
this
him the chopper, dude.
What's that?
Show him the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
There's the tank.
Hold on, you gotta say stuff, Damon. Oh yeah.
Okay, there's the airbrush on the fuel tank.
Sweet.
And I've got it actually pulled apart for a few little things I'm doing on it. Here's the rear. Let's see if I can get to the rear fender. I'm totally upside down. Can you guys see it?
Sort of, yeah.
I've got Ryan's reflection of your face on the rear fender right now.
Oh yeah, that's me.
You should get that
So-
painted on there, man.
Oh, jeez.
Don't fall.
Don't fall down.
Dude, that would be bad.
Brand new spanking forks, completely rebuilt.
Nice. Holy cow, dude. Dude. Awesome. Thank you.
Let's see here. I'm trying to get the tire, guys. Front tire's done. New brake pads. All new bearings and seals in the front wheel. Same with the back. You see the head tube there? Head bearings actually looked really good when I pulled them apart. I was so surprised. I actually just cleaned them and re-lubed them and put them back in. So that saved us about $30 on our budget. And so far, you can see I've got the front end off. Tyler, you know why. You know why that front end's off, don't you?
That's right. So you guys were doing a little project, a little something that should be pretty cool and should blow some minds. It is ultimate decam goodness. And, yeah.
Can you see that?
Good.
No front thing on it right now. And so it doesn't look a whole lot different, but mechanically already. And by the way, this bike, let's see if I can get it in the background here. There it is. That's kind of the chopper, isn't it? That bike now, you've turned the key and you just touch the button and she fires right up. It starts so easy.
Oh, yeah.
So, do you want to hear it?
Yes, please.
Okay, are we losing people? Are we still got people in with us?
Dude, there's more people now than ever.
Really?
Oh, crap.
You want?
All the latecomers got the best part of it.
Oh, okay. Well, let me grab a key here. Hang on a sec. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's see if we can start this thing. I've never tried doing this with a laptop in one hand. And you guys want to see some serious redneck action? Yeah. I'm going to show you guys some redneck action here.
Don't rev it up too loud, dude, because your neighbor's kids are sleeping.
Did you? I didn't tell you that story, Tyler. So you know how you haven't heard the chopper, have you, Tyler?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Man, I've heard the
I've
chopper,
heard
and I've heard about your less than happy neighbor, and then you were just like, oh, rah, that noise, rah.
Well, my brother came over the other night, and it was about 8:20, and I'd helped him do some stuff on his bike. And long story made short, his custom bike is probably at least as loud as mine is. And sorry, I got to set the laptop down for a second. And he came, but we couldn't shut it off because he was having a battery problem. And so we just kept it running while he came in to knock on the door. And long story made short, that lady came over and started yelling at us because his bike was too loud. And it was just idling, but it was kind of thump, 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 you know?
Yeah.
And ticked everybody off. So here we go. We got power. Let's see. I'm gonna try doing this. Set this on the. Oh, now you guys are getting blinded out by the light, aren't you?
No, it's all right.
Okay.
Steady.
Unplugging my ears. And here's the crazy part. Here is the clutch, or excuse me, the choke cable. You have to pull on it. Let me make sure it's not in gear either.
That would be disastrous.
I could take out about 6 bikes in one shot. So here's the here's the choke cable. I'm pulling on that. Put it on run. Oops, maybe I don't need to choke. Tractor start.
Hey, what's the chirp factor like?
Yeah, we hear it.
So, you hear it okay?
Yeah, Damon, that was good. Thank you.
So it does run. I don't want to rev it up too much, and I don't know what time it is. Oh, it's 9:24. Oh yeah, my neighbors would cry. But she starts up. That was an actual cold. I mean, no warm up, nothing. It's been sitting there for several days without being started. Okay, I'm coming back in here now. Are y'all still with me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions or anything from anybody out there? What else do we have on the list, Damon? Do we got more stuff on the list?
Well, our recommended list was the center stand was one thing. Progressive fork springs, we got those from Ryan. Throttle cables, swing arm bearings if needed, but they're actually pretty smooth. Seat, center stand, engine guards, meaning tip over guards, and then the woohoo list, which was like our C list, which would be all kinds of crazy stuff like hard panniers, a big windscreen, aftermarket exhaust, serious headlight or lighting mods. And those were things like if maybe someone has some windfall of money that they want to spend or make their bike really unique, that it's worth it to them to do that, then those would be items that they would consider. Any thoughts?
And just as long as it runs and it's somewhat comfortable in the cold, then $1,500, you can't complain, honestly. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. There are a couple questions here. Dirt Flyers asking valve clearances checked lately. They have not been checked yet, but we plan to do that. The bike, how many miles does it have on it, Tyler? Did you say 20,000?
Yeah, it's 20,000.
So I don't know if it's ever been done, but we're going to definitely check them. And then someone else, let's see, I think it was Evil Jim, double take mirrors, spot tracker.
Yeah, I actually have a spot. I just need to activate it.
Okay.
Tyler, do you have mirrors squared away? Because I have some double takes I'll just give you.
Oh man, that would be awesome. Maybe when I'm up there, I'll just swap them.
Well, I can get them to you sooner. We got something can't really talk about, but yeah, they'll be on your bike. Right,
oh,
Damon?
wait. Is this something that I know just a little bit about? I won't say anything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You guys, so everybody that's here, definitely check out NessedUpProductions because he's sorry, I just read it. He did panties. Check out NessedUpProductions because he's gonna have a little rebuild of his own on
Some. Yeah. So yeah, I'll just send those double takes along. So yeah.
Oh well, thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Don't send them to me. Send them to Damon.
Oh no, that's where I'll send them.
Okay.
Thank you, man. I'll have to pay you back in a Kazakhstan massage when I get up to Sandy. Okay.
How does that mean?
Yeah,
Ryan.
I've seen Anthony Bourdain and a few other shows where they get all worked out there in the sweat temple.
Oh my gosh, man! When you watch, I posted it on my Facebook or on something. Maybe I was responding to a comment or something, but yeah, it's on Long Way Around when they go to that Kazakh.
Oh yeah. It looks awful.
They said it was terrible, but I guarantee their muscles were loose afterwards.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it feels great afterwards, but it looks like pure misery.
I got a massage once by a little, probably 100-pound Asian guy, and I hurt for 2 weeks after that thing. That guy put the hurting on me. said, I don't get what this whole massage thing's all about. This was not good.
Well, Damon, you just like to crack other people's backs and muscles. You don't like it done to yourself, right?
I guess that's what it is. Yeah. Oh, hey, while we're talking about the spot, have you thought about, Tyler? Maybe you've already planned this, and I'm just not aware of it. But some type of either on your website or something like that, a spot tracker showing exactly where you're at and.
Yeah, you know what? The app that I'm using now, and I want everybody, if you're into it, this is something that I've been throwing on my channel just in the last couple of videos, and I've uploaded a few that haven't been released yet that I talk about it. But I will be making tracks to, well, maybe I'll do it with a spot. I don't know, but I will be doing tracks on the adventure, so you can kind of see where I'm at, and then we can plan the ride a little bit. And I think we'll have. The logistics are really hard for me to figure out where I will be, like meeting with people, doing meetups, and the times are all going to be wonky. But I was kind of thinking of having like team captains in different towns. But anyway, that's kind of upcoming announcement. However, we'll work that. I still need to wrap my brain around it because I'm like I have the IQ of like a goldfish. But anyway, we want to. I'm going to be tracking all kinds of GPS tracks on mapmytracks.com/eveRide, and I'm gonna be doing, just for fun, I'm gonna be doing like hair scramble tracks that go through box canyons and stuff in St. George, and then like just a huge gigantic rally course. That maybe, in the kind of heretofore right now, it's kind of top secret-ish NOAB meetup. We could do and test some of those rally courses. So, yeah, more on that incoming soon, I guess.
So are you planning on using your phone for the GPS then?
I know that everybody's going to cringe if they saw the Utah BDR thing where we just had so many hiccups with the phone where it got us lost. It just totally hosed us. However, the phones now are like pretty amazing, and I got a really nice one, and some people have suggested some good GPS apps. So yeah, I'll probably just be using my phone for GPS. I have a RAM mount now, and it should work well.
I'll send you a couple links too, Tyler, because I got a good app that's pretty good for just real-time recording your tracks. So in case you get lost, you can loop back and get back to your previous path. I used it out this one BLM area where the trails all look the same, and I didn't want to have to sit there and like mark trees and stuff. So I used it, and I just went out and rode, and then I was able to work my way back, and it worked perfect. And then there's also a really good website that has, if you're doing any BDRs along the way, you can go get other people's GPX files and then load them into your phone. And there's these GPX viewers that just use Google Earth, and you actually don't even need you just need Google Earth, just need a satellite connection, and you don't even need a cell phone connection.
Oh, that's awesome.
Good thing to have just in case they're doing. Go ahead.
Is that dualsportmaps.com?
No, I'll have to take a look at it. It was like GPX. I thought it was GPX something. I'll have to take a look at where I got it. But basically, there's just a bunch of adventure riders on there that upload all of their tracks, all their track files, their GPX files to this shareable site, and you just log in, create a username and all that stuff, and then you can download whatever you want and search through all the tracks.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah, I think it sounds great. I pretty much think that we kind of went through pretty much everything that I had. I mean, I have pretty much the list that I'm going to go by. There's one thing that's been on my mind. I read somewhere, and I just want to put it out for other people who I'm not asleep yet, Bri. I'm getting there, but actually, my daughter's at homecoming dance tonight, so I won't be sleeping for a while.
Dude, you better be polishing the shotgun, man.
I'm polishing up the brass knuckles. I don't mess around with shotgun stuff. Anyway, what I was going to say is I read a post somewhere on Facebook, and it kind of made me laugh a little bit. It was something about, there was a comment about just lube up the chain with WD-40 and grease and repack your wheel bearings and go. And I just wanted to mention for other people that wheel bearings on motorcycles are sealed. Once they're dried up, you can't repack them. You can't put grease in them. So apparently this individual's never checked his bearings before. So when they get dry and they get crunchy, you just got to change. You got to replace them. The other thing is, if your WD-40 on a chain is not good, WD-40 for machinists is a cutting oil. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, throw some grease.
WD-40 is not a lubricant; it's a solvent.
Yes, thank you.
Smells amazing.
Yeah. So you know, if you want to use something to lube up your chain and you don't care if it's rusted and you don't care if it breaks on you, by the way, I've seen a couple of bad accidents from guys whose chains broke on them while they were going down the freeway at 70 miles an hour. So if you want to take that risk on your own bike, then that's fine. Go ahead, but it's not worth, you know, it's worth $100 for me to not worry about that. So don't use WD-40 on your chain, guys. Okay, if you need to break something loose, great, yeah, but use something else. Anyway.
So wait, what about cleaning your chain? Like if your chain's all gummed up, you spray it with WD-40, wipe it down, brush it off, and then put on some chain lube. Is that no good?
Oh, that's fine. You can do that as long as you put, you know, copious amounts of chain lube on it. You know, you'll be fine.
Okay. Why do you think my chain lasted? I mean, it was like it only lasted like a year on the DRZ. What do you think was up with that? Do you think?
I think most of the time with chains, when they break down like that, for those of you guys who don't know, we actually found a link. We're really glad that we found this, where the actual shell liner that's around the post of the link just disappeared on this new chain that we put on his bike a little over a year ago. And the most common, I mean, out where you're at, it's so arid and dry and very fine dust and dirt. Usually that just comes from getting dried out. You might have to, you know, lube your chain all the time, you know, out there.
So, you know, here we're into chain questions and it's so random, but what's the best way to keep your chain lube from like flinging all over the place? My tire's like covered. Everything gets covered with this stuff when I ride. What's the deal with that? Go ahead, Ness.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I've been using this Bel-Ray Super Clean chain lube, and it works for all the X and O-ring chains and all chains pretty much. And it's basically there's no fling at all, and it's not messy. It works pretty well. It just leaves this kind of white, oily residue on your chain, so you can tell that you've actually coated it. But there's no fling. And it's made by Bel-Ray, super clean.
Cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. And I see some other suggestions over here. DuPont Teflon chain saver, again from David Nichols. That guy's awesome.
Yeah, the other thing is just, you know, what I do, you know, I have chain lube, people give it to me, whatever. I'll lube it up pretty heavy, and then I'll just use a rag and, you know, I'll spin the tire and wipe a lot of the excess off, and that gets rid of a lot of it too.
Oh, okay. See, I never did that.
Yeah, just spray it on, love it on there. We'll just buy you a 50-gallon drum of Astroglide for your arid environment down there.
Dude, what are you talking about? I got 2 storage drums downstairs in my garage.
Okay.
And real quick, just a really good lubricant that I'd like to point out. It comes in a pretty small can too, so you could be pretty easy to take with you. But I don't know if any of you guys have ever used Triflow before. Mm-hmm. But that stuff is amazing. Like I use that in my locks in my old '73 van, and the locks in my trailer that tend to get rusted after sitting for the winter. And yeah, that stuff is just, it works wonders.
That's great. Let me just make a comment here. Upstate Trump ST says no WD-40 ever. It seeps inside the O-rings and will break down any lubricant you put on afterwards. So I've used kerosene to clean, dry it, and then chain wax. That's probably the best advice right there.
Okay. So, yeah, I've read some articles that say, and it's always a little bit counterintuitive because it says, you know, get a lot of WD-40 on there, and then wipe the WD-40 off, and then put on your chain lube. But if the WD-40 still breaks it down, then your chain lube's not going to stick. So, you know, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the best advice. I've never used WD-40 on a chain before, but what I do is I'll clean my bike, I'll wash my bike, and I'll wash the chain too, just with whatever I'm using to wash the bike with, and then I just lube it up real heavy and wipe the excess off, and it's always been fine. But
one thing, you know, you can get, like, go to Home Depot or whatever, and usually they're on sale sometimes, or even like Harbor Freight. I don't know if they have those where you guys are at, but you can pick up a really cheap pressure washer, like, you know, low PSI, for like around, you know, usually around $80-100. And those things, I mean, there's nothing like a pressure washer when cleaning your bike. You know, throw the center stand up, use that pressure washer, use a little, just simple green everything, and you got a clean bike and you're good to go.
mm-hmm.
Hold up. Kim, you've been muted like the whole time, dude.
Yeah, I didn't want any background noises of dogs or anything like that to...
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure that, like, I didn't mute you and you're, like, feeling sad.
All good.
Cool. Yeah, Ness, I think I honestly...
Everybody's happy now. Happy, happy, happy.
I don't know if people saw that because I was making so much noise when Ryan did that, but anyway, Ness, I think it's worth it to have a pressure washer. I think that'll be a purchase down the road for me because I seriously, if you follow my Instagram, there gets so much crap on my bike every time I take it out. Right, I should say so much crap on Damon's bike. It's like that was the dumbest thing I think I've done in a while because I went through, you know, those pictures that you always see on like ADV Rider and in the KLR forums and all the different forums of bikes buried up to their axles in just nasty, nasty clay. Yeah, when I went into that stuff, I was like, that's gonna happen, and somehow it floated through and I made it. But
well,
I was
also,
certain that was gonna happen.
One of my buddies that's, you know, got me into riding, has been riding his whole life. I mean, he was like, one of the number one things you can do for maintenance on your bike is clean your bike, because also when you're cleaning your bike, you're going to notice when you have loose bolts and, you know, just things don't look right because you're going around the whole thing, so you're inspecting and cleaning at the same time. And with just a hose, without any pressure, you can't get that grime off unless you want to sit down there with a nylon brush and go to town for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's well worth the time. I really want to get one eventually. Right now,
get
it's
the
not in the
warranty
cards,
though, when you do get a warranty on it though, like they sell like the extended warranties that are super cheap, and because the things do tend to only last like 2 years. But if you get the extra 2 years on top of it for like $20, then it's like $100 or $120 for like 4 years, which is worth it.
Nice, not bad. All right, cool guys. Anybody have any other questions? Do we have anything else to talk about, Damon?
I do. I'm wondering, all these chat comments, do they go away when we're done? Because man, there is a lot. I've been watching these scroll through, and there's a lot of really good conversation happening on the chat side of things that we're not really able to talk about, but
they stick around.
Do they stay?
Yeah, they stay like a normal video comment.
Okay, that's
cool.
great.
Good.
because there is a lot of good good stuff there that people can go back and reference. And I really like Royce Blankenship's comment. That's how HalfThrottle keeps his joints moving. He's not here to defend himself now. Oh, there he is.
Can't find my.
Well, hey guys, real quick, I got to get going. Dinner's ready. But been awesome hanging out with you guys. Tyler, we'll talk more soon. Damon, we'll talk more soon. Kim, I got to get up there again as soon as I can. And HalfThrottle, nice seeing you in person and meeting you, or seeing you in intraweb person.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah, and yeah, you guys have a good one, and yeah, look forward to going through all those comments as well. Thanks,
Hey,
guys.
we'll see you later. See you, Don
Hey,
G.
see you later, Ryan. See you later, Don G. Huffer. Love you guys.
Talk to you later.
Well, I think that's pretty good. I think one thing that'd be really good in the future as we get to that point is to try. I read HalfThrottle's comment. And I just lost my train of thought.
I can't. I don't know where it is.
What you gonna light up, dude?
Gonna start this freaking WD-40 on fire.
Boom! Lights out. All I know is I want the black lung over there if you light yourself up.
Okay.
Is having a future one to talk about gear and how to pack, what to pack, and you know I think that would be a fun one to have and kind of discuss. One thing that I noticed when going out with even on the Pony Express rides, like Ryan, I mean he just like, man, totally goes for it, and he has whatever he needs, but not anything more. And so I think I'd love to hear.
One pair of pants at a time, gentlemen.
Man, I was watching a video a while ago.
You turn them inside out, you put them back on.
I was watching a video a while ago about a guy who did Prudhoe Bay on, I think, a WR250F that was converted to street legal, and he did a video on like packing light, and you know, I know that KLRs, you know, you could pack a lot of stuff, but I'd still like to pack as light as possible, just so, you know, I don't have like the kitchen sink with me, you know.
You remember that scene? There's a scene in The Long Way Around where they just start throwing away all sorts of stuff that they realize that they don't need.
Really? When does that happen?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like their frames start breaking, and then they're like, you know what? We don't need this 60 pounds of garbage.
Okay, I remember that.
I mean, it wasn't garbage, but it just after a while you realize the same thing happened to me when I rode to Panama and back. There was one point where I just went through all my stuff, and I'm like, why do I have this? And some people think, especially when you're going out of the United States, they think I have to take all of these things, but you're going to a place where people live. You're not going to Mars. There's going to be stores there. You're going to be able to go shopping there. If it's cold, you're going to find a place that sells a jacket because people live there and those people need jackets. So don't break your head over, oh, I got to make sure I take everything, because wherever you end up, there's going to be something that, you know, if you need something, they're going to have it. Unless it's a sprocket for a KLR 650, then you're screwed. But like clothing and stuff, if your one pair of underwear wears out, then you can buy a new pair of underwear.
What about so the recommendation would be haul more spare parts and tools. Make sure you're covered there.
Yeah.
Because honestly, you can get by with a stinky shirt. You can't get by with without a chain or a sprocket, like you said.
Yeah.
So that's good advice.
You know, have you guys watched that series, those Australian guys, Adventure Dirt Bike TV or Adventure Bike TV, Mad?
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, when they started their big Queensland adventure that they went on, they had their bikes loaded up to the hilt, and after the first day, like 50% of their crap got taken off of their bikes, and the one guy that was riding a DR, it broke the back half of his bike off, and so he just chucked it. Oh, he didn't chuck it. He took all his stuff off. I don't know if other guys have seen that series, but it's pretty funny. They just got rid of a ton of stuff, so I think that's good advice.
Yeah,
Kim.
pack light.
Kim, what do you have to say? What should I? What's something that I should bring? What's something that you want me to bring when I come to Victoria, man?
I can tell you one thing not to bring. Do not try to cross the border with a pistol in your gear.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
bad.
I was
that goes
looking
without saying,
at
but
the. I was looking at the
it
reciprocating
happens all the
states.
time.
I could get to Oregon, or no. I could get to Washington, but then over the border that wouldn't work, and then down through Oregon and California they don't reciprocate the concealed carry either. So, looks like it stays at home.
Yeah. You will.
Which-
You know, you're definitely. What do you got for cold weather gear? You're pretty well set for that.
You know what? I really need some help with that. What do you recommend?
You know, if you should really take a good look at it. Whatever you're looking at, take a good look. I mean, we just had snow in Alberta, which is going to be just north of. You're going through Idaho.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's probably about 6 hours north of there, but at elevation, you know, you're probably going to run into a little bit of the white stuff if we're getting it already. So good pair of long johns. I love my long johns.
Yeah, that's kind of the irritating thing is packing for cold weather, because it's like you have limited space on a motorcycle, and then you've got to take like huge amounts of cold weather clothing, and you know that a lot of your ride is not going to be cold.
Well, if you get a good pair of like thermals that are like the thin stuff, like I've got thermals that I wear when I ride my bike in the winter, and they're thin. You can roll them up into like a little ball, but they make all the difference. It sounds like you're getting heated hand grips. I mean, that's your worst enemy, and maybe your knees.
You know, sorry to interrupt, but right now, Tyler, at Cycle Gear, they're having huge sales on their on all their winter gear, and I have a one-piece bodysuit thing, and it's super thin, and I've worn it in the winter, and it works better than my thermal underwear. And it's thin, it's lightweight, and you can just roll it up really tight. But they have elbow guards. They have a face thing for $4.99 right now. It's usually $30.
Dude, so since you're close to Cycle Gear, could we say that's important budget stuff too. I know it's not going on the bike, but
yeah,
you know, if you want to swing over there, if you got a little time, that'd be awesome.
It's right next to my clinic, and actually my wife and I stopped by there the other day because some of the sales were so good that I was afraid to pass it up, and they didn't even have it all in yet, and they said give us another week or two, so it's probably been about a week now. I'll go back in, I'll check and pick some stuff up for you.
Awesome. So, yeah,
Dude, did you talk about sleeping bags while I was gone?
Not yet. Would love to hear about your sleeping bag, little homie.
I got this. When I was in the Army, they give out these sleeping bags that kick ass. And I bought an Army surplus one off of eBay for like $80. And it has 3 layers. One is like an outer shell that's Gore-Tex. You don't even need a tent. You can just lay this baby on the ground. You can get rained on all night, and you'll stay dry.
Wow.
And then there's 2 like insulation layers. One is for summer, one's a little bit colder, and when it's really cold, then you put them inside of each other. And I can't remember what the rating is, but it's pretty low. So it's a good sleeping bag. It's right over there in the corner. You want me to get it? I'll get it.
Well, yeah. What's it called? Tell me the specific name. Oh, yeah, he's gone. Man, I'm reading the comments. I'm having issues wrapping my head around why you're looking to do a trip in the winter. I don't understand that it's winter. That hasn't dawned on me yet, because down here it's still like 100 degrees every day, and I like that. It's like perfect weather for riding all the time.
Yeah, it's funny because I look at the temperatures of some of these places up north, even northern Utah, parts of Idaho, and it's like 60s in the daytime. I'm like, dude, why do people live there?
Hey, one thing I find frustrating when I start riding in the colder weather or the cooler weather, especially if you get a good rain, is the fogging on the inside of your helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Riding all day long and that.
What do you do to solve that?
Some people will say this is a bad idea, but I do use Rain-X. I use the two types. I use Rain-X on the outer, and I use the anti-fogging Rain-X on the interior. And I'm usually good days with that. It doesn't affect my visor or my face shield. Doesn't warp it or anything like that. You have to test it on whatever helmet you're using, whatever face shield you've got. But it seems to work for me.
One of the other things, Tyler, that they sell, that was one of the things I was looking at over at Cycle Gear, was it's a little face thing that goes in. In fact, I think I got one. While you guys are talking about the sleeping bag, let me go grab it. Hang on.
It's just called the modular sleeping system. It has 3 parts. I wish
Oh,
there was
yeah,
a
okay,
big version of
MSS.
it that wasn't camouflage. But because after being in the Army, I'm so over anything that's green or camouflage. But it's an awesome sleeping bag. I've been on campouts before where we all slept out under the stars, and it rained, and everyone was freezing cold and miserable, and had to stay awake all night by the fire. I was just fine and dandy inside that Gore-Tex sleeping bag.
That sounds awesome.
Okay, guys, so here is this made by Built. $25 is the list price on it, and it's on sale right now for $4.99. And it has
in the back.
You guys want to see something awesome? This is live, Nix. This is my son, Nix.
Nix
And this gives me the Ghiblies.
Hello, Nix.
But Nix, show him your loose tooth, buddy.
Ah!
Oh, show him. Yeah, wiggle it around for him. Wiggle it. Oh, man, okay, that's enough. Oh, man, eyeballs and loose teeth. I can't handle that.
I'm the official tooth puller in our family. We've got several different techniques for pulling teeth.
All right,
the string in the door doesn't work.
Say night-night, Ava.
Night.
Say goodnight to everybody.
Good night.
Say love you.
Night.
Say Ava out.
Ava out.
There you go. Night-night, sweetheart.
Nick's out.
Yeah, you say it too. Go ahead, buddy.
Nick's out.
Yeah.
Nick's out. Man, he is a monster.
Dude, he's so
By
big.
the way, we have something for him, but don't say anything yet. It's a little something that only he and I know about, but you will know about it.
Oh, okay.
So don't go asking him questions or anything. So here's that thing. It's $5, and it's got these little Velcro things here that you peel off, and it sticks to the inside of your helmet. And then it's got this little, oh, I'm sorry, guys, this little metal thing that goes over your nose, like that, and it diverts all of your breath out of your helmet, so it doesn't fog up onto your thing. But anyway, that was $4.99 or something.
Dude, so
got a bunch of them there.
Can I just say, just go wild with stuff that I might need? Because honestly, as is probably expected, we don't have a lot of cold weather gear in stock at places right now, unless you go to like specialty stores, and then you're looking at hundreds of dollars. And with cold weather stuff, sometimes I don't really trust shopping online unless something has super good reviews, because you get something and if it doesn't work in the cold weather, and I figure that out when I'm in Canada, that's gonna suck. So Yeah, I will defer to you with your judgment on that stuff, Damon. Okay.
Okay, let me just ask you one more question. You can purchase, like what I did, it's a one-piece thing, because I don't normally go on long trips, but if I go out riding, I'm gonna I I put on the one-piece thing and I keep my body warm and I go. But you can buy them in separate pieces, like the bottoms, the jersey, the whatever. Do you want separate pieces or do you want a onesie?
You know, I think separate's probably better because, you know, that way I can kind of decide what I want to take off and put on and stuff.
Okay. Good, man. Very good.
Cool. Well, we'll do riding gear and what to pack in a later one. It looks like we're coming up on about 2 hours now. We were like, yeah, 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
There is no way you can harness these cats in 20 minutes. Ain't no way.
I can't even make my own dang moto vlogs in less than 20 minutes. All right, guys. Well, Keith Thompson asks, has the trip itinerary been posted? It's very, very rough. I'm still waiting for the passport, you guys. That kind of everything's dependent on that. So the trip itinerary is basically a route, and we're still figuring out how we're going to put together the rides and stuff. Again, we're probably going to do like team captains in different areas, probably not inside major cities, but outside major cities where the dirt riding is at. We'll have like team captains, and I'd like for the team captains to set up, you know, the rides, the service activities, and then camping or lodging of some sort if people are into that. So yeah, you're gonna get a lot of this this beard dandruff in your house if you let me. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, I think we just lost everybody. Yeah. All right. Well, do you guys have anything to say? Any other last questions or anything like that?
I think I'm pretty good. I just think the other thing is just timelines. You know, I'm leaving to go to Tennessee the end of the month to do our annual Aguirre chopper ride with my boy and my brother, and so my goal was to try to get this bike done before then, giving you the month of October to kind of do your trip, but it's going to be pretty tight for me. Are you okay with that, Tyler?
Yeah. What's your time frame? What are you thinking?
Well, I don't exactly know. I've been kind of busting it here and there as I've had time, but kind of what's the deadline? This is what I need to know.
You know what, man? There is no deadline, and I know I'm you know, I was probably going to announce this in a video or something, but I know it's gonna bug some people, especially in California. But where I mainly want to get is up to Victoria and then down to Sandy. I really want to meet Kim, and I want to meet Ness. So those are the priorities for the trips. If there's time, then I'll get down through California. But basically, that's where I'm going. I got a ton of people in Boise that want to meet. You know, that was crazy when I posted, "Hey, where do you guys want to meet at? Where are people at?" So I could go ride with them. So many people in Boise posted. So definitely going through Boise because those guys are awesome. And then
I like Boise. Boise's
yeah.
a cool town.
Yeah, those guys are sweet. There must be awesome riding up there because it seems like everybody has a dual sport, so that's good stuff.
That's where Happy Trails is. You can go visit the Happy Trails store.
Right on. Right on. So, yeah, anybody else have anything? All right, so I read in the comments earlier, you guys, Ryan wants to pwn some noobs at Team Fortress 2.
Load it up.
So Ryan, give him your info so you can go pwn some noobs at Team Fortress 2.
Nobody plays.
Team Fortress 2, by the way, is free, so hop on there and get pwned by Ryan.
I'll be your medic. You won't. I won't let you die.
So give them your info so you can
Because
they
apparently
can find you and
all of
play.
these guys are the noobs.
I'm the noob, man.
All I say is if something happens on the bike, it's not my fault. You're on your own, dude.
All right, guys. Well,
Church.
let's close it down. This has been super fun. We'll have to do this. We'll have to do this again. So you guys, thanks so much to the people who came over and made all the comments. Super helpful comments. We had some superstars there in the comments. You guys, really, really helpful people. Thanks, Damon, and thanks, Kim, and thanks, Ryan, and thank you to a belated thank you to Ryan B, Mr. NessedUpProductions. That was awesome to have you guys as well, and we'll have to do some more of these. I thought it was really fun. I don't know if people liked it, but I thought it was a good time. I like talking to people in the comments too. That was fun.
How many people ended up joining in, by the way? Was it 50-ish?
I think we were about 50 the whole time. At points it got up to like 65. So good times. Good times.
Awesome.
All right. Watch another one, but I want David Nichols to be in it, and I just want to sit in the comments and hang out.
Yeah, dude.
Get some other people on here.
Yeah, seriously, going through the comments, that's actually a good idea. Going through the comments, seeing some of the people that really are super, super helpful. We should have them come into the next one and hang out with us. I think that would really.
David frickin' Nichols, that dude lives and breathes KLRs. He spends 25 hours a day on the KLR 650 forum.
Dude, I know. I knew him before I even had a KLR.
Yeah.
I love that guy. Cool. Well, all right, guys. I'm gonna shut it down. It's been super fun, you guys. And everybody want to say bye?
Bye.
Much love, everybody.
See ya.
Download Team Fortress 2, friggin' noobs.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.
I wouldn't even know how to hit the on key, man.
All right, let's see.
I'm hanging up.
All right. Who's saying bye first?
Goodbye. Much love.
Ryan's out. See you later, NoFactor.
See ya, boys.
See you later, Kim. All right, guys. Thanks so much. That was a blast. Really appreciate you guys coming, helping out. Geez, that was just really cool. David, you stop it. You stop it, David. You. Gosh, if you guys want to know one of the reasons why I got a KLR, look at David Nichols right there. That guy's a helper, man. That guy would give you the shirt off his back, I think. Anyway, thanks you guys so much. See you later. Much love. eveRide out.